Welcome back, everyone. The iPhone 13 has been out for a minute now, and so has the iPhone 8 Plus for a lot longer. So let's go and compare these two in a speed test and see which one is the faster one. Now, I guarantee you the iPhone 13, which is on the left, is probably going to be faster than the iPhone 8 Plus. Now, to give you some perspective, the iPhone 8 Plus came out in 2017. It has that Apple A11 Bionic chip inside of it with 3 gigabytes of RAM. With the iPhone 13 has that Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster one between both of these, which is probably going to be this one. Let's get into it. Let's do their phone calls. 3, 2, 1. And definitely the iPhone 13 faster and smoother right there. Let's do music. 3, 2, 1. And they're always on different panels, but I would have probably assumed the 13 was faster, even though this one was faster. Load up into the original panel. Hopping out of this one. Let's go and get into mail. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 13 was faster there. Let's go and get into App Store. 3, 2, 1. Now the Wi-Fi may be a little bit weird. I'm currently like in a basement in the middle of nowhere. And I mean, the 8 Plus was faster to load into that panel, but they were on two different panels again. Let's kind of scroll through here and see which one is the faster one. I'm pretty sure the iPhone 13 is going to be the smoother and faster one here, and it seems to be loading at a little. It seems to be loading at a faster speed too. So hopping out of this one, let's go and get into something like camera. 3, 2, 1. Now I don't think the 8 Plus has night mode. I would have tested that between them, but let's go and click on this photo right here. And even that you can see was smoother on the iPhone 13. Zooming in and zooming out seems to be about the same on both, but that was a faster experience on the iPhone 8 Plus or on the iPhone 13. Let's go and get into their calculator app. This will be kind of random. Actually, let's go into clock. 3, 2, 1. Even that app, I don't know why on the iPhone 8 Plus it kind of glitched up there a little bit, but definitely I'm liking the gesture-based design here. Photos. 3, 2, 1. About the same thing. Clicking here, got a little bit of a pop-up here. But scrolling through here, I'm kind of seeing the same thing. Not a lot of glitching going on either. So now that we have these basic apps, I want to do settings. 3, 2, 1. And even that I would say was a little bit faster on the iPhone 13. Now that we have some of these basic apps out of the way, let's go and load up some of these third-party applications. And I have a lot of them. So let's get into it. Let's go and do Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And I definitely do think the 13 is going to be faster here. They're both having on this download config, whatever it was. And you can see the iPhone 13 definitely faster there a little bit. The iPhone 8 Plus kind of stuck there a little bit on the loading panel, but you can see not only was it faster, smoother experience on the iPhone 13 as well. And that's something to always keep in mind. The iPhone 8 Plus a little bit behind, nothing crazy, but definitely something worthwhile to mention. Let's do BOFA. 3, 2, 1. You can see the iPhone 13 faster there. iPhone 8 Plus again a little bit behind. Let's go and do Dropbox. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 13 was faster. iPhone 8 Plus a little bit behind. Quizlet. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 13 faster. iPhone 8 Plus a little bit behind again. Let's do Netflix. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 13 was faster, and the iPhone 8 Plus was a little bit behind there. Let's go and get into Thank You. 3, 2, 1. You can see again the iPhone 13 was faster. The iPhone 8 Plus was slower, and it also took quite a bit of time to load into that panel as well. I wasn't really too sure what was going on there. And you can see gameplay-wise, I think they're kind of about the same, but that was a little bit of a difference between them. Snake vs. Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And the 13 definitely faster again than the iPhone 8 Plus by quite a bit. So we're seeing actually some really big differences between these two, not only in terms of the speed, but also in terms of performance. So when it comes down to the glitchiness and the smoothness between these applications. Let's do stack. 3, 2, 1. And you can see, actually that one was kind of tough. This one loaded the ad up first, even though this one loaded the game up first. A little bit of a difference there. Fruit Ninja. 3, 2, 1. And you can see the iPhone 13 starting to load up a little bit. Finally gets into it. The iPhone 8 Plus finally gets into it too. So that pretty much covers up that one. Let's go and hop out of this one. Let's go and get into Facebook. 3, 2. I don't have it here. Let's do Twitter. 3, 2, 1. iPhone 13 faster, iPhone 8 Plus a little bit behind, and that pretty much covers up a majority of these big applications I wanted to test. Now I also want to test the RAM management portion, so let's go back in the beginning and let's see what we can do. So let's load up the first app, and both are able to keep this application up in the background, which is pretty much expected. Now let's go back in the beginning once more and see what we can do. So let's go back to the App Store. 3, 2, 1. And both loaded them up fine. Let me go and click into this one, and surprisingly, this one loaded up that one a little bit faster, which was kind of weird. Hopping out of this one, let's go back in the beginning. Let's go into the Mail app. So 3, 2, 1. And both are able to keep this one up in the background as well. So a little bit of a difference, nothing crazy, but a little bit of a difference. Let's go and get into the app stores. 3, 2, 1. And this one kind of reloaded this image a little bit. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was a little bit of a difference right there. Now let's go back to the camera, which is not going to reboot on both. It's going to really be dependent on them. Doesn't seem like that big of a difference. Let's go back here. Let's go back here. Let's do clock. 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same thing. So neither of these phones have actually rebooted any application yet. But it doesn't really, I never really see any differences until we start getting into some games. So let's go into photos. Nothing's going to restart here, I don't think. Okay, so both kept that open. Let's go into settings. 3, 2, 1. Both were able to keep that. This one restarted a little bit. So let's go back into those games now. Temple Run 2, I think, is going to restart on one of them. So let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. And they both ended up restarting. Now, this is one thing I've seen a couple of times. I don't know why. I would expect the iPhone 8 Plus to restart most of the time, but I don't know why both of these phones end up restarting the exact same times. I tested the iPhone 13 against the iPhone 12, and the same thing happened. Actually, I saw the iPhone 12 was doing better RAM management than the iPhone 13. In this specific case, it looks like even though the iPhone 13 was faster there, which I do appreciate, it was very weird that the iPhone 13 wasn't able to keep that app open in the background. It's a very, very weird thing. Let's get BOFA. Let's go into Dropbox. Pretty much the same thing, not a big difference. And they're both able to keep those apps in the background. Let's just go into BOFA now to get out of the way. 3, 2, 1. So both ended up restarting pretty much there. Well, they actually kept it in the background. So I'm getting into Quizlet. 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same thing too. Let's get into Netflix. 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same thing as well. Now let's get into Thank You. Now this is going to be a little bit interesting, I think, because it's another big game. Let's get into it. 3, 2, 1. And so both restarted again. So this is the issue that I'm having. I would expect again the iPhone 8 Plus to be, better RAM management. Although the iPhone 13 is loading up the app faster, I still don't like how they're both restarting. I would expect the iPhone 13 to do better every once in a while because it does have an extra gigabyte of RAM. But that's not really the case here. I'm not really seeing the iPhone 13 doing that much better in the RAM management portion. Snake versus Blocks, I'm kind of seeing the same thing here too. I'm kind of seeing that the iPhone 13 isn't really doing that well in RAM management. So to kind of sum up this video, I can pretty much tell you that the iPhone 13, I think, is definitely the faster phone. This is the better phone in pretty much every single area. It's very fast, it's very smooth. But the RAM management is the one area that I'm just so confused at. I don't really understand why this specific phone keeps running into some RAM management hurdles compared to these older ones, even though the iPhone 8 Plus came out, 4 years ago, almost as of this point. Actually, over 4 years ago if we're going into next year. The RAM management, Apple just hasn't really been able to knock down. Even though this phone is newer, has a better processor, and has more RAM, they're still restarting the same amount, which makes no sense to me at all. Now with the iPhone 8 Plus, it was definitely slower than the iPhone 13, so I don't want to give the impression that the iPhone 8 Plus was a faster phone because it wasn't. I think every single app that I tested for the most part was faster on the iPhone 13. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying the iPhone 8 Plus was faster or whatever the case is, but the one thing that I'm seeing over and over again with the iPhone 8 Plus is showing its age, but it's showing its age gracefully. It doesn't seem like a super outdated phone. And even though it glitches up and it kind of, speeds down a little bit here and there, still a very fast phone. I have a few things to complain about it. The iPhone 13, for some reason, just is a very fast phone. It's faster than the iPhone 8 Plus, but the RAM management is the one thing that I'm just super confused at for sure. So in terms of that, that pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.